Well, South Carolina, another rain-free day continues for us as we went throughout Monday. And now we're going into Tuesday, we're going into Wednesday, and still no rainfall is in sight. It's like we just saw some rainfall on Sunday, and that brought some relief, that brought some hope for some potential rainfall to come back. But unfortunately for us, that does not seem like it will be the case. Also, it's also cooler. We're talking about 40s again. And then that elevated fire weather concern, that never left. That is still here. That is 100% still here. And then rain chances next weekend as a front system approaches. So all of that we're going to go in and talk about. If you have not hit the like button yet or the subscribe button, go in and do so. It's free. And you can share as many times as you want. What's currently going on right now? Nothing. Nice and dry. No rainfall going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina, but let's go and look at the entire U.S. The entire U.S. right now honestly looks like not as active. We're seeing some rainfall down here inside of Florida. We're seeing maybe some rainfall off the coastal New England areas. But the area that I'm looking at right now, besides maybe this area over here in the west from California, Washington, Oregon, is down here inside of Texas, where right now heavy amounts of rainfall going on from Beaumont down through Sugar Land, down to San Antonio, down over into the more central parts of Texas. And y'all know we talk about San Antonio. Well, look at this. San Antonio right now is under a flash flood warning. So if we see Thad later, we definitely can go on and let him know about that, because there is a flash flood warning over there right now as we speak. But for right now, we're good over here. Now, what about for our cloud cover? Cloud cover right now seems to be out of our hair. Honestly, we're not seeing much at all, if any. And it looks like that's going to be a clear night for tonight. We go on and look at this cloud cover for the future. We go all the way through. Here's 12 o'clock in the morning, going all the way to 6 o'clock in the morning, to 9 o'clock in the morning. Still nice and clear. We go into tomorrow afternoon, going into 4 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. Talking about still some clouds here and there, all that, but it's not that bad. With clear conditions for the majority of us as we go into tomorrow evening. Even as we go into tomorrow, like 11 o'clock p.m., going into 12 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, we start to see some more cloud cover starting to push its way east. But one thing that I will say is that this cloud cover will kind of try and level out a little bit. So you're going to kind of see how that system down towards the south and to the west of us kind of works, as it brings that cloud cover kind of only to like the Midlands, Low Country, Grand Strand, PD areas, but not too much of the upstate, even as we get into Wednesday morning, going into Wednesday afternoon. Now, what about for our air quality? Right now, we are looking pretty good. Pretty good. In fact, we only have a couple of areas in the moderate down there near Augusta, near Anderson, also near Clemson, as well as going up there near Walhalla. Those areas right now have a moderate risk of air quality, meaning that it's not technically bad, but it's not really good either. So just make sure if you're out for a period of time in these yellow areas that you are paying attention to the air quality. Low temperatures for tonight, we're talking about 40s almost statewide, except for maybe the coastal areas. 44 Greenville, 44 Newberry, Winsboro, 48 Columbia, 48 Orangeburg, 55 in Charleston, 49 Moncks Corner, 48 Georgetown, 50 in Myrtle Beach. So we're talking about, for the most part, 40s, some 50s. And then high temperatures for tomorrow, we're talking about widespread 70s, maybe a couple of 60s. We're talking about 77 in Columbia, Orangeburg, 74 Greenville, Spartanburg, 73 Rock Hill, Cheraw, 72 Florence, 67 in Myrtle Beach, 73 Charleston, 74 Hilton Head Island. Now, what about for our rainfall? Rainfall is not expected as we go throughout the next 24 hours, so we are good to go. You don't need that rain gear with you. Now for the crazy score. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how active our conditions are throughout the entire state of South Carolina. And for tonight, we're at a 14. Why? Well, mostly clear to clear skies statewide, with only isolated patchy fog potentially possible in some inland valleys, but relatively low. It's also going to be pretty cool tonight. Light winds, and then just completely dry conditions, zero precipitation Zero chance of it, I should say. Now, what about for the SPC outlook? Well, for tonight, no thunderstorms are expected. Same thing for tomorrow and Wednesday. So we are good in terms of thunderstorms. Excessive rainfall, we're good here as well. So let's go in and talk about the only other real threat that's going on, and that's the fire weather threat. Right now, we have an elevated fire risk that goes on for the upstate, goes on for the Midlands, goes on for the Grand Strand areas, the PD areas, and that is for a level 1 out of 3. Now, this is for mainly today, goes a bit into tonight. And so that statewide burn ban is still in effect for a reason. Do not burn anything until further notice, until they make that announcement saying, okay, we can go in and burn again. But for right now, still can't burn right now. And this fire weather threat continues all the way into Wednesday. Here we go, Wednesday, April the 22nd. We're talking about now a little bit of a fire risk going on from Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, Florence, Columbia. These areas have a 40 to a 69% chance of critical fire weather conditions. So make sure that if you're in these areas or if you're in the orange zone, that you are aware you're not burning anything. And there's a burn ban in effect, so you shouldn't be burning anything anyway. But if you are just like, well, I'm just going to completely ignore that and still burn anyway, which you definitely should not do. And I'm definitely never going to advocate for that. But if you decide that you're going to at least be outside of the orange area, so because the orange area is definitely where the conditions are the worst. They definitely are the worst. But again, I'm not advocating for it. Definitely not. Do not burn anything at all. Now, what's going on right now in terms of, past that? Well, they don't have anything right now. They don't have anything for Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for the future. So we could be seeing an end to this fire weather event. We'll see what happens, but there definitely still will be drier conditions as we continue throughout the rest of the week. And that rain chance as well also increases as we get into Saturday and Sunday. So I think we might be finally getting towards the ending point of this fire weather epidemic here of multiple days of fire weather over and over again. Does that mean that the drought is going to be over? Absolutely not. The drought is still here. The drought's still going to stay for now. Especially as we get through Thursday, I think it will probably expand on Thursday again, bringing us some more drought areas. How much? We don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Now, what about for the models? We're going to start off here at the HRRR for the 18Z, and as we go in and push this forward, what we can see here is definitely dry conditions. We're not seeing a single area of precipitation inside the state of South Carolina, which adds on more to that fire weather risk that we have right now. Now, if we go in and check out the GFS for the future, because honestly, there's nothing really going on for the short term except for that fire weather. But if we go in and push this forward all the way through Wednesday, going into Thursday, Friday comes along, going into Saturday, you're not seeing much in terms of precipitation. But as we go into Saturday night, going into Sunday morning, we start to see that rain chance start to increase a little bit. Even as we go into Sunday afternoon, here we go. We're talking about some more rainfall here. Now, as we get into Sunday, going into Monday, Monday comes along, Tuesday as well comes along, and we have some rainfall kind of just making its way around the state. Tuesday, like late morning, early afternoon, maybe. Again, that's 100 to 200 hours out, so things are definitely going to change. But look how much rainfall we're going to receive potentially on Tuesday. I mean, very good rainfall, trying to move its way through as we get into next week, Tuesday. And I'm kind of excited to see what happens there and how it's going to impact us, because we do need the rainfall. Everybody in the state of South Carolina needs the rainfall, no doubt about it. If we get rain, you definitely should want it. You should not be upset or anything like that, because we have droughts going on that desperately need to be fixed, because if they don't, it's just going to lead to more fire weather, more fires, and just more stuff for us to worry about and pay attention to. So we're going to continue to just push this forward as we get into Wednesday of next week, going into Thursday. Nice active condition, but then we get to Thursday, going into Friday of next week, and we may even see a little bit of a cold blast trying to move through as we get into the end parts of next week. We'll continue to monitor that as well together, but for right now, it seems dry for at least for a good amount of the beginning of May. Now, as we go on and look at our total QPF, so this is how much rainfall we're going to receive as we go throughout the next 300 to 400 hours or so. And for right now, it does show a good amount, around an inch or two. Some areas a bit less. So rainfall is definitely on the way. Even if we go on and look at Friday, for example, I mean, we don't see any accumulation of rainfall here. This is Saturday, April the 25th, 5 a.m. You don't see any rainfall at all, zero, throughout the state here. So just look at this huge jump in precipitation, especially as we get into the later parts of April as well, and maybe even a bit more. So, like I said, wetter conditions are on the way, better conditions are on the way. Now, if we go on and look at the ensembles as well, because the ensembles give us kind of another good idea as of what to look for in terms of totals. Totals, as we go throughout the next 384 hours, this is more of a mean data, meaning it's more average based. And it takes all the members, put them together, and kind of makes this. But for right now, I mean, you see, it says around 1.4 to 2 inches. So a good amount of rainfall here is definitely possible. And then if we go on and look at the European one, because we never really look at the European one. The European one, if we go on, I'm going to go back to the 12Z real quick. The European one kind of shows around the same, maybe an inch, inch and a half of up to 2 inches or so, maybe 3 inches most. So some beneficial rainfall for sure. Beneficial rainfall to look at. And that's all that I can really say in terms of precipitation. Just get ready for more rainfall to try and move its way through. Temperature-wise, I've already seen some people already telling me that they apparently had no idea that it was going to get cold again. And, they saw my forecast and they were like, oh, well, let me go on and get some warmer clothes on. And they definitely did today. And they were super happy about it. So I'm glad that I'm getting that out to the people. And that's why we should continue to share, because there's a lot of people who didn't even know that this cold air was going to be coming today. But obviously we all here knew that it was coming because we all listened. So we're going to continue to push this forward as we get all the way through into tomorrow. Cold air still tries to stay around with us. We're still around 5 degrees below average, which is not a whole lot. Definitely not a whole lot, but we still are looking at below average temperatures. Warmer than average temperatures will be coming along, though, as we get through Wednesday, going into Thursday as well. Friday, we have some warmer temperatures coming in as we get into the end parts of the week. Even as we go into this weekend, we're talking about 10 to 15 degrees above average again. So more potentially high 80s, 90s, potentially trying to come back as we go into this weekend. Now, if we go all the way through into Sunday, there goes another little cold blast, and we just talked about that cold blast just a couple of minutes ago. But we have some more cold air, potentially 15 degrees below average as we get into next weekend. So we are not done with cold air. We are not done with cold air. Sunday, April the 26th, right here. Now, as we get into Monday, we get into Tuesday, and just look at how cold it could potentially get as we get into Tuesday of next week. We're talking about 30 degrees below average. Now, it looks like it's during the daytime, so, it won't be like freezing, hopefully. But we're going to look at the models for the exact temperatures in just a second. But we're talking about here more cooler temperatures as we get into next week. So make sure that you are aware of that. And even if we go on and just continue, just look at how cold it's going to get. Honestly, I believe that this is almost a complete flip from what we were seeing yesterday. If we look at yesterday's models, it wasn't all that bad. But this is what yesterday showed for Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Look at what today shows. Today shows a completely different story. So that's just how quick these models can change. So make sure that you are aware. Even the 12Z of today, which was like not even, I'd say around like a good 6 hours or so ago, did not show this either. So let's go on and look at the actual temperatures themselves. Well, if we go on and look here on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, we're talking about high temperatures obviously going into the 70s. We may reach some 80s as we get into Wednesday. Even as we get into Thursday, mid-80s. Friday, we're talking about some more 80s. Saturday, maybe some 90s. Yes, potentially 90s trying to come back as we get into Saturday. Low temperatures getting down to the 60s. I mean, looking pretty normal. But then look as we get into Sunday. We're talking about only high temperatures, really getting up into the 80s as we get into like the low country areas, while everybody else really in the 70s and 60s. Now, when we get all the way to around Monday, Monday morning, Monday afternoon, with more 70s comes along. But look at this. This is where our 20, 30 degrees below average model showed. Is it showed temperatures at 2 o'clock p.m. with high temperatures only getting it into like the 50s and 40s on next week, Tuesday. So will that happen? We don't know. We're going to have to continue to watch, especially as we go into next week. But for right now, it's on the table for potentially highs all the way as low as 50 degrees. Now, low temperatures doesn't seem like it's going to be dropping any lower than that. So it may just be 40s and 50s as we go throughout like Tuesday afternoon, going all the way through Tuesday night, going into Wednesday. So not too much temperature change potentially for a day as we go into next week. We get through Wednesday, going into Thursday, we're still talking about 50s here and there, 70s. Definitely do come back, same thing with 80s, but like I said, it's going to take time. And we may even be talking about some low 40s potentially as we get into the early parts of May as well. And so that's pretty much all I have to say here in terms of our temperature from the deterministic side. Let's go in and see what the ensembles have to say. And when I say ensembles, I just mean the GEFS. GEFS, for the most part, really just used to show trends and what's going on with the pattern. And one thing that I will say is as we get more and more into May, it doesn't really seem to be getting that cool according to the GEFS at all. So is it a one-run wonder from the deterministic, the one that I just showed? Maybe. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Again, all of this could be gone by tomorrow. Definitely all could. So we'll continue to watch for this as well. But, I mean, it continues to show 70s for us. Even as we go through that Tuesday, it doesn't really show anything too low at all. In fact, it keeps us up in the 70s for the majority of the models. And that's all that I can see here throughout the models here for today. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say here for tonight. Starting off with, let's see, Maya Lua first. She says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Actually, before I do this and read the chat real quick, I got a suggestion to do this real quick. And so, just in case it does come down to a tie, for the top fans of the night for tonight, whoever can tell me first what the crazy score was for today, I will give you an extra 3 points for your top fans of the month. Not of the month, but of the day. So, whoever can tell me what it is first. If we don't have anybody, we'll just continue to do as it is. But just something I just wanted to spice it up a little bit just to see what happens. So, whoever can tell me what the crazy score was first and what the score was for tonight, see who was paying attention. You can get yourself an extra 3 points. But let's go on now and look at the chat. So, Miles says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. I pray that everyone enjoyed their day. Well, thank you so much for that. Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day. Well, I did. Thank you so much for that. Got you around 75 degrees here at Moncks Corner. Currently, it's around 61. Then Miles Lewis says, today in Georgetown, it started off chilly, and it warmed up later on in the day. Well, thank you so much for that weather report. Today's high was around 70 degrees. And let me check out mine real quick. Let me check that out. If I go on and look at my station real quick. Here we go. It's around 59 right now. 59. And the high temperature for today was around 73. Milo says today's high was around 70. Currently it's around 60. I did go out to enjoy my birthday on Myrtle Beach right near the ocean. It was very nice. Oh, you are so correct. I'm so glad that you said that. First off, happy birthday to you. Let me go and give you a round of applause for that. Yes, happy birthday to you. Hopefully, like I said, your day was nice, even though it was, maybe a bit cooler. But, at least it wasn't raining today, so nothing to ruin it. Mr. Gray says, was cool with the wind blowing. Please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know. It's free and it helps the channel grow. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that weather report first. And, right now it seems like that we have around a good 10 people that have tuned in tonight, 6 likes. So go and hit the like button if you have not already. And then continue our way down. Mr. Gray says, we had a wonderful day, loving this weather, not too hot or cold. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Maya Lou says, 70 was not bad. Thad says, good evening, just from the 360 weather family. I trust all is well with everyone. It has been quite a day here in San Antonio. It has rained all day. Yes, I've actually seen a lot of stuff that's been going on over there. Flash flood warning in for y'all right now, and we'll talk about that as we get into San Antonio. It is raining so much that my gutters are running over. Currently 59 degrees and raining. If you can send some of the rain over from over there, because obviously y'all are flash flooding, so y'all can you can definitely send some rain on over here. Definitely would be appreciated, and we can take some of the load off. We are expecting another 0.66 inches overnight, not counting tomorrow. Yeah, so definitely, that definitely will help get rid of that drought. That definitely will. Definitely will help get rid of that drought. But is it going to be gone completely? Probably not, but it definitely will help a lot. Terrell says, greetings, everyone, greetings to you. And then Thad says, I wish I could send you some. I believe this is more than what we got the whole of last year. Well, I don't know about that. I can't be 100% positive on that, but it definitely is a lot. Then my Aunt Lewis's nephew, thank you for keeping us informed, or thank you for the information that you share with us. It keeps us informed of what's going on with the upcoming weather. Thank you, no problem at all. That says, it's funny, we just haven't had any thunder or lightning, just rain. Spoke too soon. Here comes the thunder. Continue our way down. Please let the rain come. I know the farmers, especially in South Carolina, sure need the rain, and the gardeners too. Yeah, everybody does. Everybody does. Everybody needs the rainfall at this point. I'm not complaining. Great for the garden. Wow, 30 degrees next week. Well, maybe, but we're talking about low 40s. I'm not sure about high 30s. We'll see what happens. But up there in the mountains, it could. Definitely could. If it were a little warmer, I think we'd be sitting out on the patio right now. Hold on there. Okay. Then my Lou says, when I went out at 10 a.m. it was around 58. That says now, I will tell you this sea rain has nothing on the country rain I grew up in. Those are the very best. We woke up to around 53. Even my daughter was like, this is not right. I just hope those out driving in this stay safe and abide by the flood warning going on right now. Flash flood warning going on right now. Yeah, you can talk about flooded roadways. You can talk about flooded ditches. You can talk about flooded parking lots. Everything could happen. Then continue our way down even more. Mr. Chris did give me the score, which was 14. So I'll add that extra 3 for you. Milo says, thank you for wishing me a happy birthday. No problem at all. My cousin Cheryl says, hello everyone, hello weatherman. I hope you had a good weekend. It's been raining in Philly, but you do know that we love you. Keep up the good work. Auntie Cheryl, well, thank you so much for that. And again, for the most part, up there inside of Philadelphia, we're going to go in and talk about that in just a second. But honestly, it's really looking not that bad. It's not really looking all that bad. We'll talk about that, though. It is definitely getting cold. And then I think that's about all. Turn around, don't drown, absolutely. Now let's go on and talk about the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 areas outside of South Carolina? What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go on to give them their forecast for them. So starting off with San Antonio first, low temperatures tonight at 59, high temperature for tomorrow at 70, low temperatures for tomorrow night at 65. Showers are expected tonight. Obviously, you're seeing it right now, thunderstorms. Showers are likely tomorrow, so you still will see more rainfall, and then another chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night. So when I said y'all will be active, this is what I mean. Now, if we go in and talk about the SPC outlook for you, you have nothing there. The only thing that you do have is that slight risk of excessive rainfall for tonight, going into like early tomorrow morning, but after that, you're pretty much done. For your future, honestly, it does look like that you will go on and continue to see kind of like some active conditions. Thursday, you'll take a little bit of a break. But Friday comes along, automatically just guns blazing with more showers and thunderstorm potential Friday, Saturday, and then Monday. Temperatures will continue to stay in the 80s as well for you. Temperatures will continue to stay in the 80s. We're talking about like 85 on Thursday, 87 on Friday, and then maybe even 89 going into Sunday, 90 on Monday of next week. So you're just going to continue to warm up. And then for Raleigh, you have low temperatures tonight at 37, high temperature for tomorrow at 69, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 50. There is a frost advisory for you for tonight because some frost is possible as we go into tonight. So make sure that you are aware of that. No precipitation for you until around Saturday, where you have a 30% chance of showers. And then temperatures are going to continue to kind of go up. 84 on Wednesday, 85 Thursday, 88 on Friday as well, maybe even 87 on Saturday. Now, what about for Philadelphia? You have low temperatures tonight at around a good 31, high temperature for tomorrow at 58, and then low temperatures for tomorrow night at 46. No precipitation for tonight and tomorrow, but tomorrow night there is a chance of showers. And so this threat not really going to last too long. I mean, you may have a dry day Thursday and Friday. Friday night is like your next chance after that, only at 30. But once you get into this weekend, then we're going to start talking about active conditions because you have a 50% chance Saturday all the way through Sunday going into Monday. Temperature-wise, you're going to continue to kind of climb up. 58 on tomorrow, 68 on Wednesday, 72 Friday, maybe even, cooling down a little bit back down to the 60s. So you're not going to get too high, especially kind of like maxing out around 72 or so. Also for Raleigh, I did forget to mention this, but you do also have a fire weather risk, not only for tonight, but also for Wednesday. Make sure that you're not burning anything over there. And then for Duncan, you have low temperatures tonight at 52, high temperatures for tomorrow at 63, and then low temperatures for tomorrow night at around 55. No precipitation is really expected for tomorrow night, but tonight and tomorrow, let me go in and add that. I guess I didn't see it, but chance of showers tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night as well. So just make sure that you are aware of that. Nothing for tomorrow night again. Nothing for tomorrow night. For your future severe weather, you do have a chance for some severe weather on Thursday. Thursday, you have a 15 to a 29% chance of severe weather, even though they actually don't even have y'all for a chance of rainfall at all on Thursday, which is quite interesting. So I guess there's a bit of a disagreement there, potentially. But for right now, you are under a day 4 risk of severe weather on Thursday, April the 23rd, 2026. So make sure that you are aware, make sure you're watching for it, because you definitely, you've been over a bunch of severe weather events for you over there in Oklahoma and Texas and Nebraska and Kansas and Missouri and Illinois and Indiana and Michigan, wherever from the Great Lakes to the Midwest to the Central U.S. Just severe weather has been going on over there over and over and over again. And now you have another chance on Thursday. And there's still another chance on Friday, but more to your east. Now for your future, for the most part, you're going to stay kind of in like the 80s, but it's not really going to get too much higher than that. And that's all I have to say here throughout the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. So let's go on now and look at our weather for the entire U.S. That includes South Carolina, that includes the 4 areas we just talked about. As a Pacific storm system will bring strong winds and low elevation rainfall to much of the West Coast, and heavy, high elevation mountain snow to the Sierra Nevada through Wednesday. Fire weather concerns will continue Tuesday across the Mid-South and the Southeast as gusty winds and dry conditions persist. Also, we're going to see some freezing going on in Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York City, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky. These areas will receive freezing temperatures tonight. Then some winds will also be going on in the west as well. We were just talking about a Pacific storm system will be bringing those strong winds, low elevation rain yeah, those wind gusts could get up as high as 60 miles per hour for some. So it's going to be pretty strong, pretty strong. And that's all that I can see here throughout the entire U.S. So let's go on and check out the top fans of the night for tonight. I believe there is nothing inside of my email for no, yes, we do have some. Dad sent me some. We'll go on and talk about that in just a second. But top fans of the night for tonight, I got to remember to give Mr. Chris his 3 points for getting it. But let me check it out. Count them all up real quick. I see around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So a good amount. Good amount. And I see around 3, 5, 6, all the way to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, plus 3, so that's 19. And then finally, we have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So, pretty close. Pretty close. I mean, 2 had the same, 1 had 1 point higher. And so that was Mr. Chris at number 1, my Aunt Lou's at number 2, and then Thad's at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. early. Also being a subscriber, because if you're not a subscriber, you can't type. And also share with your friends. Well, that would help. That actually wouldn't help you get up. I mean, it would add more competition, which is fantastic. But also being active, because if you're not active, you probably won't be in the top 3. And so that's all that I can see here. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all. And to everybody who did type tonight. We have some pictures to show from Thad. He sent 3. One of them saying, my radar, this is my radar from last night and at current. So let me go on and show this right here. So this is his radar picture that he sent. And this is what was going on last night, 11:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And then this was this morning here at 7:40, or that says 7:45 Central Time. Oh, last night in okay, I see what you're talking about now. Okay. But this was actually from was this from yesterday? This was from yesterday. I do apologize for that. So yeah, this was from 11:45 on Saturday, and then this was 7:45 on Sunday. 7:45 on Sunday. I do apologize for not showing that yesterday. But thank you so much for that weather weather picture. And then he sent 2 today from this afternoon at 2:05. This one was just titled Rain. So this was one of them. And then also over here inside of the right side, showing more and more rainfall. Definitely beneficial for sure. And then the final one, which was also sent around 2:08. That's the current weather. And then as you go into your radar here for your exact, rain totals, how heavy the precipitation is and all. And we see at the middle of the screen it says around 58. So that's all that I have here in terms of pictures. So thank you so much, Dad, for sending in those pictures. Again, if you want to send in one, you can send it in to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is SC like South Carolina, weather360@gmail.com. And then also you can send in on Twitter at 360_weather. And that's all that I can see here throughout the entire state, the entire chat, the entire of everything. So let's go on and end this off. I will be back tomorrow with your Tuesday morning forecast update. Also tomorrow evening for your Tuesday evening forecast update. Make sure that you're there for that. And everyone have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Make sure you go and hit those 2 buttons before you leave. 727, trying to get to 800.